The design brief is the document which we will create during the define the problem stage of the design process. What we are doing with this document is helping to basically lay out the guidelines that we will be using throughout this design process. This concise document, no more than one page, identifies the client. It clearly states the problem. It details the degree to which the engineer will carry out the solution and lists the rules and limits within which the engineer must perform. You can see in the example on the right that we have our client, designer, problem statement, the design statement, the constraints, and the deliverables. We will be looking at each one of these as we go through it. But as you can see in the description, it is a document agreement between a client and an engineer. The client is going to be who we are working for, or who we will be designing for. This is very important information for what we will use later to basically design our product. We have to be very specific to the demands of the client and make sure that we are meeting their expectations. The designer, you and your partner, are the creative problem solvers. You're going to help define how we will solve this problem. In our problem statement, this is basically where we identify the problem. An example of which would be one that we see in school every day. My school locker is a mess. I can never find a pen, pencil, or calculator. My homework is always getting lost. My lunch gets crushed under a sea of books and binders. Because of the clutter, it is hard to close my locker door completely. As you can see in this problem statement, very short, to the point sentences, and it clearly identifies what the problem is. For the design statement, this is basically what we're going to use to solve the problem. We always want to start it off with design, model, and test. So in this example, we're going to design, model, and test a high school locker organization system that will neatly contain items commonly used and kept at school. Obviously, this can be used in our middle school situation as well. Our constraints are going to be any of our guidelines that we must follow. In the example of the school locker organization, we are looking at time to build, the safety codes that we must meet for things like the fire department, our budget, and then the physical attributes. What size will it need to be in order to fit in the locker, the weight, the color, other things we might consider as ease of use for assembly. Our deliverables are what we will have at the end to present to the client. So in this case, you can see that it is our sketches, which we'll be doing right with our matrix. We'll have 3D drawings that we've done on Autodesk Inventor. We'll have technical drawings. We may also have a physical model that we have built, which would be our prototype. And then obviously a presentation that we'll deliver to the client at the end.